right, we are live. How is everybody doing? Okay, live again with another video, or live stream, I should say. Video came yesterday in the Dell XPS 13 Plus 9320, and it's doing okay. Finally got that one out. I will have the ThinkPad X1 Carbon Gen 10 coming up, so you want to make sure you are subscribed to the channel. But today we have the MacBook Air M2. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm excited about this one. This is going to be magical. I'm kidding. No, I mean, look, I ordered it. I read the reviews. You know, I saw some of the videos on it. And, I'll be honest with you. I'm not the most excited about it, but I did order it. I wanted to see what the M2 would be like in a passive cooling. We can compare it to the XPS 13, which has the 12th gen Core i7 1260p, the one I have. And then, of course, the same thing on the X1 Carbon Gen 10. So we can compare them and we can see what's going on. This is the space gray. Now, I avoided the midnight, whatever is it called? Midnight, because it is a major fingerprint magnet. And that's the one thing, as you know, I do not like. So I stuck with the tried and true. And I kind of like what Handquake said. And by the way, thank you, Handquake, for the super sticker. And that is really nice of you, by the way. Get rid of the lower third there. Very, very nice. I appreciate that. Let's give it up for Handquake. He is a true legend. Okay, so Apple should make, let's get this on here. Apple should make computers in colors. So stupid, or I mean, why would they make it? They should just make everything space gray and buy some skin company, a D brand or whatever, that allows you to deck their device however they want. Yeah, that's probably not a bad idea. Charge you $100 so your rig is like no one else's. Yep, that's Apple. No exterior damage. Yes, we heard reports that the paint chips very easily and exposes the bare metal, the silver metal that you'll see. So with that midnight color, it kind of doesn't look great after it starts to get scratched or whatever. I don't know. I have the midnight. I have the space gray. I didn't go with the twilight. I didn't go with any of those things. Coming up. There you go, my friend. Montauk Weller, who big sports fan, right? I see you on Twitter, so I'm thinking you're a Knicks fan, right? I'm assuming you are because I am, but I don't know. Maybe you're not. I assume you are, and hopefully the Knicks will get Donovan Mitchell, but not at too high of a cost. But that's a digression, of course. Let's say hello to a few people as people are filing in. We have, let's see, we have 38 of you. I'm not expecting a lot of people tonight. This just was wanted to do an unboxing of this and then just get it out of the box, and that's it. I don't even know if I'm going to do a review on it. I mean, I'm sure I will, but I might just do a very quick review on it. I don't know because I don't know the interest from my particular audience. Hello from Portugal. How are you, my friend Jose Miguel? JC has the Legion 5i Pro with the 12700H with the 3070 Ti coming today. Nice. I'm glad you're going to enjoy that. Why, Andrew? Why did you go with Apple? I just wanted to see what the M2 is about. I'm not, as I mentioned on previous live streams, this is not for me as far as what I would personally buy. Of course, I did spend money from the channel. This is the channel's money or my money, whatever you want to call it, because I want to see what the M2 will compare with in terms of some of its competition. I got by the way, tomorrow, if you saw on the scroll below, I think I turned that off already, but tomorrow it is definitely coming. Hopefully I will get it in hand, and it looks like it will be. It's already here in Las Vegas. The ThinkPad Z13 with the Ryzen 6000 series processor in that, and I'm looking forward to checking that out. So I should have a few videos up this week on that. So there you go. Hey, from Mad RB from Montreal, Canada. Up north. All right, so I think we got enough people here. Let's see. We've got 35 of you watching. Yes, orange and blue. Good day to you. Yes, Montauk Whaler. Hopefully they'll make this deal and they don't give away too many picks, too many young players, but I don't know. I'm sort of like on, yeah, I think it's obviously go get a superstar when you can, but not at all costs. You have to be sensible. All right, good to see Tech Realm here. Lots of interest or views. That's the opposite on my channel. I get the anti-views because by the time I get this, nobody, all the reviews are out, so nobody really cares. M2 spec. So this, okay, so let's talk about which one this is. This one is the, what do I have here? So it's a MacBook Air, 13.6 inches, so it's a little bit bigger. I've got the 8 gigabytes of unified memory, the 512 gigabytes of SSD storage. From what I understand, its storage is slower than it should be, according to some of the reports. So that's what I have here. And let's get it out of the box here. So I don't think I need a knife because Apple usually makes it pretty easy, but maybe I'm wrong. Is there some kind of tab here? Yes, there is. So let's take this over here, okay? And there is the Space Gray. Okay, let's pop this off. Okay, and there it is, a Space Gray. Feels pretty nice. A little heft to it. A little bit more heft than I thought. Let's put it to the side for a moment. This should be interesting. They get a braided cable. It's a gray cable. You can see the gray cable. And of course, this is the return of the MagSafe to the MacBook Air. Okay. And then we get some documentation here. So you got MacBook Air here. And let's see what else. Looks like some warranty information. Who cares? Where's the goddamn sticker? Oh, there it is. Space Gray stickers. Okay. Now, I think if you get the Midnight Black or whatever the hell they're calling it, you're going to get matching color stickers. And then, of course, you get the power charger. And here it is. I don't know. My eyes are so bad. Is that 35 watts? I think it is. So 35 watt charger, it looks like. Something like that. I can hardly see. And then flip out prongs. Pretty compact, but it is white. And again, of course, you got that MagSafe connection. And that's it for the box. And the accessories. And then, of course, get the MacBook Air. And pretty nice looking. I mean, it's the Space Gray. And it's got a more squared off look than previous ones. Very nice build. And that's usually what you get on the MacBooks, to get really good build. Let's talk ports. So on the left side, there is just one headphone jack. High impedance from, I think, whatever it is. MagSafe connector, 2 USB-C, Thunderbolt 3 from what I understand, or are they Thunderbolt 4? I don't even know. I'm assuming they're 3 from what I think I read. So not even 4. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure somebody in the chat. And I'll get to your questions and comments in a moment. Let's see if we can do the one finger test. Sort of. Yep. Of course, you can do it with Apple. And there it is. It's already starting to boot up. So Thunderbolt 3, according to Tech Realm. Thank you. And, well, there's the goddamn notch. Here, Robert, how's it going? Look, you like it, huh? There's the notch. Okay. Let's go to the next. Let's do English. And then let's see, United States. Okay. Let's see how bright this thing goes. Oh, it gets up, I guess, pretty bright. Not now for the accessibility. Let me select my my Wi-Fi. Get this set up real quick. It's nice, and I'm glad I went with the space gray. To be honest with you, because now you can see the Touch ID over there. The reason being is because I don't need to set it up from a time machine. Let me put in my ID because I don't like the fingerprints, and I'm glad I didn't go with the midnight. Okay, so let me put it on me for a second while I get this Apple ID set up here. But it is space gray, and I like it. I know it's kind of boring for some people, but I think for most people, this is a tried and true color that doesn't show too much fingerprints. I may have to do two-factor authentication. Give me a second, people. I know it's kind of boring, but I don't want anybody to see my information. Just give me one more moment. And that's going to load in. I have to agree to the goddamn terms and conditions. All right. Is it good for gaming? No. I would not get it for gaming. Let's see some of the questions. Bro, who the hell games on a Mac? That's what I just said. Some people are saying the M2 heats up a lot. Yeah, I'm going to be testing all that. Maybe one day they'll put the Face ID, huh? Not yet. Let me put in a password here. I know it's kind of boring, people, but got to go through these procedures to get it up and running. Okay. Now the keyboard is actually pretty nice. Using it a little bit so far. Early indications are it's looking pretty good. I got the Touch ID there. I'm sure at some point they're going to want me to create my Touch ID or actually set it up. No problem, Lionheart. How you doing, my friend? What storage option? This is 512 gigabytes. It has 8 gigabytes of unified memory. And looking good. Now, for those that are joining us late, I do have the ThinkPad Z13 coming tomorrow. That will be coming into the studio. So you should be good on that. We should get a video out on that very, very quickly, hopefully, see what it's all about. So this is the 8 gigabytes of RAM. This is the 512 gigabytes of SSD storage. This is the space gray. A reason I went with the space gray, as I mentioned earlier, I don't like the fingerprints. And from all indications so far, the midnight color is a fingerprint magnet. Yeah, the Z13 is going to be great, Tech Realm. I can't wait for that. That's going to be a good one. And I can't wait either, KGL. The 24 gigabyte one. Nah, I'm not going that far. I mean, I was able to pick this one up, and you know, it's going out of pocket on this. So that's the other problem with the Apple stuff, because obviously Apple does not have a relationship with me. Let's set up the Touch ID. Let's see how this is going to all work out. So let's continue there. Let me put my finger on it. Let's see how fast and easy it is to set this up. And that's it. That's a very quick setup. That's good. So the Touch ID is ready. Looking forward to the Z13. Me too, Srivats. Me too. It's coming tomorrow. It does look stylish. It looks good. And it's got the Ryzen 6000 series in it. We're not going to set up the Apple Pay now. We'll set up later. Okay. This is a long setup. I think Windows takes a little bit less. Ah, here we go. Finally, we're there. All right, let's get this full. Doesn't look so bright to me. Maybe I'm not, because I'm not plugged in, maybe. But this does look very dim. Is it because I'm not plugged in? But this screen does not look bright at all. Is there, maybe I got to go to the settings here for the ambient light sense. Oh, you know what it is? Maybe because all these lights here, it's probably that, you know, that with the lighting, what's it called? That they call it? Oh my God, I'm losing my mind. Let's go to display. So let's go to displays. And it's called, where the hell is it? Night shift? It's not night shift. True tone. Oh, and automatic brightness is adjusted here. I turned off the true tone also because I like to do color grading. This doesn't look bright to me. I don't know what's going on here. Is this normal? Is this normal? I don't know. I mean, it just looks so dark. Maybe because the dark mode is on. I turned off the true tone. Let's go to this camera. Let me switch to my NDI camera here. Let's get this set up because I want to get some close-up shots. Oh man. So we can take a look at the, get it on here. All right, so this is the keyboard. This is the keyboard here. There's the Touch ID. Nice keys. There's the touchpad, which of course is a haptic touch engine. There's the notch, for those wondering. Bezels look pretty good. I just can't stand this notch. I think you can turn it off in the settings. I'm going to probably do that in a moment, but for those wondering, that notch is there. I'm one of the people that is not a proponent of it. The Face ID, there is no Face ID on this, but we can look at the FaceTime camera. Let's, yeah, this is kind of dim. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I need to plug it in. Maybe I need to plug it in. But we'll get to that in a moment. Let's take a look at the camera. Let me put it back on me for a moment. Let me take this one off. Okay, and let's take a look at the camera here. So FaceTime, okay. So this is supposed to be a pretty good camera, I guess. Oh wait, let me turn that down, hold on. How do I look at the camera without seeing anybody's phone number? That's not good. Ah, damn, how do you do that? Let me see camera. I don't want to show some of the numbers here. So hold on. Let me see if I can figure this out. Look, I'm so used to Windows, people, as you can tell. I don't know. I'll have to just show in the video. iPad Air 12.9 hardware with good. So the key. So I can tell you right now, the camera looks pretty decent. But not, you know, I don't think it's anything special, to be honest. Photo booth. Okay, let me try photo booth. So where the hell's the photo booth? Let's see. Okay, there's photo booth. Oh, okay, this might work. Okay, let's go here. Thank you, Tech Realm. All right. What do you think? Let me go here. You know what? I can connect it to the HDMI, but of course I'll have to use the dongle. So let's plug this in. And I mean, this is all informal, so we can get a look at it in one moment as that loads in. It's not there yet. Okay, maybe now. Okay, what's going on? Okay, it's not working. Let me try the next one. Okay, so I can't get this HDMI working. Apple, what the hell are you doing here? Okay, why is this not working? Okay, HDMI is not working. I'm plugged in. Is this connected? Hold on. 1, 2, 3. Maybe I have the wrong one, maybe. Okay, that's right. No, it's correct. Oh, there it is. Boy, that took a long time. Wow. Okay, so what do you think? A lot of lights here, people. Keep that in mind. So this is the camera here. God, this is what happens when you do things live. It looks okay. I think it's what? Is that 1080p? So what do you think about it? I'm sweating here. I'm going to turn the AC down in a moment. I don't know. It looks okay. I guess it's good for your Zoom calls and all that, FaceTime stuff. So that's that. And we can go about this Mac. So this is the M2 Air. Apple M2, 8 gigabytes. It's got 512 in terms of the storage. Now, the built-in liquid retina display is 2560 by 1664. That is a 16:10 aspect ratio. And it's got 8 gigabytes of memory. So that is it so far. Let's see how many people we have. We have 99 of you watching. So we got a little bit of a comeback here in terms of the amount of people here. Sorry about the little delay, but that HDMI just took forever on this Mac to get working. Try not to miss any of your... So according to Robert, he picked up the MacBook Pro 14 with the 32 gigabytes. Very nice. Really like it. Yeah, that's more of a creator's laptop, more powerful. That's the one I would go for because it has active cooling. So the 2 dim, nope, I'm still using the X1 Extreme ThinkPad Gen 2 and the brightness drives me crazy, not bright enough. Yeah, so dark mode with a dark wallpaper is maybe the thing that is making it look so dim, and maybe my cameras, I don't know. But the thing is, I can see in real life here. I don't have the M1 Air. Maybe to compare the display, we see what's wrong. I don't know if it's anything wrong. I think this might just be how bright it is. I don't know. And you could sort of see it here. That's as far back, and this is as far back as it goes. And is it an HDR display? Does it get to 1,000 nits of brightness when under HDR? I don't know if this is one that is. I guess it is. But we can run some benchmarks. Now, according to, you don't need to plug this in, right? Everybody's saying this will run very well even without plugging it in. So why don't I download Geekbench just to get this ball rolling here? And let me see how this keyboard is. Just to run a real Geekbench test. Keyboard's decent. Although I keep misspelling here. Look at this. What's going on with me tonight? Okay, let's download it. Let me put it back so you can see what I'm doing. Andrew, can you test the graphics performance, something that doesn't use encoders long term? I have the feeling that it'll be throttle and end up throttling. So I can't do Cinebench, right? Am I correct on that? As I'm downloading this. So let me download this. And again, I don't know why the HDMI, see, like I'm plugged into, this should be on right now, but it's not. Takes a long time for that HDMI to work. I'm not really sure what's going on. So let's just go back to this camera for now, because this is the HDMI connected to one of the Thunderbolt ports, HDMI coming in. That's my 5th input, and looking like it's not working. Let me try again. Oh, there it is. You see? So it takes a very long time for the HDMI to work on this for whatever reason. I don't understand that. That was a good couple of minutes there. So We got 106 of you watching. So those of you joining us right now, welcome. Andrew back again with another live stream. We have the Apple MacBook Air M2 here in the studio. You can see it here. And I'm downloading, and you can see the screen on the MacBook right here. Let me just take this off this. And let me go to the downloads. Geekbench. Let's open this up. Open. Agree. Later. Okay. And let's run the CPU benchmark. So we're running, and I'm not plugged in. So put myself down there. So we're running now the Geekbench on the MacBook Air M2. So let's see what we get. I'm not plugged in, but again, I think Macs can pretty much work very well even when they're not plugged in. And I'll plug it in later. We can get a benchmark there. We're all live here, people. It is now 6:58 p.m. Pacific time. This just arrived, so we took it out of the box. I'll leave the replay up for those that want to see it. We got 110 of you watching. So do me a favor, hit that thumbs up, people, while this benchmark is running. Let's get this spread out over YouTube. Let's build a channel. We're about to reach 128,000 subscribers. We're about to hit 29 million views. So we are really underway here. So I would appreciate any help. If you want to become a member of the channel, that helps on a monthly basis. That's been growing lately. I'm going to be doing some members only stuff soon, so stay tuned. And if you want to become a subscriber to the channel, why not do so? That helps grow this channel, of course. As we look to see this benchmark run, let's see how the single core and multi-core score will do. I have no idea. I've seen some benchmarks on other reviews, but let's see for our own sake. Now, I do have the 8 gigabyte model with the 8 gigabytes of unified memory with the 512 gigabytes of SSD storage. I'm going to try to get to some of your comments in a moment. Let me go back. William Castle, can you right-click on a Mac? I think you can. So here's the benchmark results, and this was not plugged in or anything. 8942 on the multi-core score and 1897 on the single core. So again, not a sustained workload test, so it doesn't really test for thermal throttling. So I need to find out a test where we can see that this will throttle down, if it does, on a more heavy sustained workload test. If any quick ones, anybody know? Let's do that. You could do it in the settings. Okay, that's good. MacBooks have separate. The nice thing is MacBooks have separate Google Messages app without needing to use the browser. Okay. Eat it, Intel. Actually, it doesn't eat it. The Dell XPS 13 Plus, which I have here, did better than this. It did over 9,000 or close to 10,000. So I don't know how it ate it. Now, single core did very well. 1897, where I got 1710, I believe, on the XPS 13 Plus. So it does have a little bit better single core, but not much. And it definitely did not do as well on the multi-core. So the MacBook Air M2 is not as good as far as the multi-core. But obviously there's no fan in this. And let me see if it's getting hot. No, it stayed relatively cool. It's a little warm, but nothing to write home about. But again, we need to do something a little bit more intensive than this. Let's do the graphics test on this Geekbench. So let's go back to the Geekbench test, and let's go back here, and let's run the compute test. Let's do the OpenCL, and then I think we can do the metal. I guess. So let's just do this test real quick. I'll put myself back down there. So eat it. Revolt, you're funny. This is going to have definitely better battery life than the 12th gen processors I've been seeing so far. So, I mean, from what I understand, again, I haven't done a test on the battery. I just opened it, took it out of the box. Let me just bounce around. If you have a question, put a Q before your question so I can see what's going on there. And it's got 27,725 on the OpenCL test. Okay. Let me take a screenshot. And then let me go back to this result. Took the screenshot of that. All right, let's go back to here. And let's do one more thing here. Let's do the metal test. Okay. See how that goes. Okay, so a lot of comments tonight. You like your S22. X80 Pro looks funky. Okay. Revolt has got a lot of opinions. Take it easy, my friend. Take it easy. Let me try to get some of the other comments in. Let me go back a little bit. So a lot of the messaging stuff is coming up about the blue bubbles. All right, 30,384. These are good scores. I mean, they're not bad. Again, these are not heavy sustained workload tests. They just took a screenshot of that. So I don't know how much we can really read into that. What other tests can we do on the Mac that we do on Windows? I don't think we can do Cinebench, right? Is there a Cinebench for the Mac OS? I don't remember seeing one, but maybe there is. I don't know. Anybody know what other tests I can run? Have you done a stress test? Okay. Tell me which one I can run. Is there a test that I can run other than the Geekbench? 10 batteries. There is Cinebench for Mac OS. Okay. Can I download that? Let's see. Let's see. Cinebench Mac OS. Cinebench on the Mac App Store. Let's see. I hate this crap. Come on. Where the hell is it? There it is. So I can download it. All right. So I'm going to download Cinebench. Now, this is Cinebench R23, I would imagine. So this will give us a good indicator. And we need to do the Blackmagic speed test. So while that's downloading, let's go to Blackmagic disk speed test also. I need that one because we need to see what the hell's going on with this 512 gigabyte SSD. What should I? Okay, so let me open the Blackmagic and let's run it right now. So the writes are going, oh, okay, not great. 2458 and 2726. Not great. Now, to put it into perspective, I got over 6,000 on the Dell XPS 13 Plus, which was a 512 gigabyte PCIe Gen 4, and got, I think, over 5,000 on the reads and the writes. So you're looking at much, like double, at least double the speeds of these. So, and from what we understand, according to Tech Realm, of course, that this 256 gig model, which I don't have, has worse speeds. So these are the actually good speeds. Let me take a screenshot. Okay, I just took a screenshot of that. All right. Now, let's see if we can let's see if that already finished downloading. Still downloading the Cinebench R23, and it's got about almost there. So let's stick on this screen so we can get that downloaded. Almost there. Just another 50 megabytes or whatever it is. So far, not looking good in terms of the disk speed. I mean, it's going to be fine for the people that are buying this. Let's be clear. The people that are buying this will be perfectly fine. And I don't recommend getting the 256. I agree with you, Revolt. So according to Robloxian, the base model with the 256 has one NAND chip instead of two, hence the halved SSD speeds. Okay, well, that's not good. I mean, let's open Cinebench. Let's close that Blackmagic disk speed test. And we're going to go now into the Cinebench. Let me accept that. So this is a sustained workload test. It's going to take about 10 minutes. I'm not plugged in, by the way, and I think we should have plenty of battery because battery life is going to be good on this that everybody's telling me. Good to see you, Jordan. Yes, they cheaped out on the SSD. So we're running the Cinebench. Right now, the multi-core score is running in that Cinebench R23. So while that's running, we can get back to your questions. Here we go. So you did this right. Is 10-core, 16 gigabytes of RAM, 512 SSD, M2 Air worth upgrading to 24 software development? And being that is my final year as a computer science student at university. So I don't know much about this unified memory, but from what I understand, I guess it's at least 16 I would get. The 24, I don't know if it's going to make that much of a difference, but if somebody knows and has it, I don't know anybody who has it. Maybe they're selling that already. I don't know. But 24 would be better. Obviously, always get more RAM if you can. That's been the general rule. But I don't know if you necessarily need to do that as a computer science student. So if anybody can chime in on that, let me know. But I think you'll be fine with the 16. And the unified memory works well with these M1, the M2 chips, I guess. So William, good to see you. William Castle, does the ThinkPad Nano 2nd Gen use the same processor as the XPS 13? Yes, it's going to have I believe it's going to have either a U series or P series. I don't remember. I saw it back in January at CES, if anybody knows the answer to that. But it's not going to have that slower chip that was in the 1st gen, that's for sure. You know, so I'll have more to say on that once I do get a unit in. So while this Cinebench R23 is running, we have 107 of you watching. So it seems like there's a lot of interest here. We've got the and let me put this here. We've got the MacBook Air M2, and this is the space gray. And if you look at the space gray, and I can switch the cameras, of course, to get it closer, but this keyboard is very nice. I do like the keyboard, the black keys. It's got a nice backlighting on it. They do a good job. And of course, the touchpad's working very well. It's a haptic touchpad. I have not had any issues. The only thing I'm having an issue is how dim this display is. It seems to auto dim, and I think I turned that off already. So I don't know what the hell's going on. It seems very dark to me. Maybe it's all the lighting here. I don't know, but I'm gonna have to test it obviously with my Spider 5 Elite colorimeter rather. I will do all the analysis on the display. Let's see, I don't know what the hell your name is. I'm thinking of buying it as a full-time video editor. Should I buy it? No, do not buy this if you're going to do video editing. Buy this if you're just a student with some, office work like Microsoft Office, email, web browsing. I would not buy this for video editing because it doesn't have active cooling. It will throttle down under sustained loads. And we'll find out with this Cinebench R23. I would definitely do it. I would definitely get something with active cooling. So I would go for video editing with the MacBook Pro 14 if you want something portable, or even a 16 to give you more screen real estate. Of course, the M1 Pro, the M1 Max will be better choices for you. It's a dark navy. Maybe it's because maybe I should change the wallpaper. But let's let this run and we'll figure that one out. And here's the top-down shot of it. And let's get to some more of your questions. This can do video editing. However, you should be buying the 14 or 16-inch MacBook Pro if you're doing video editing full-time. Thank you, Dave. Yeah, I agree, and that's along the lines of my thinking as well. I mean, you probably could do 1080p on this, no problem. But again, how heavy are your sustained workloads? Are you going to do something for more than 10 minutes? It's probably going to throttle down once you start throwing things at it. That's going to be really intensive in terms of processor power. So if the Ryzen 6000 was available and came with more laptops, I'm going to have one coming tomorrow, people. For those joining late, the ThinkPad Z13 will be coming into the studio tomorrow. I might even do a live stream on it. Let's get it unboxed like we're doing tonight. So it seems like these are pretty good. Intel is bad. Well, I disagree. I think we got some better results as far as the multi-core performance already. I saw better numbers on the Dell XPS 13 Plus. The Z13 is going to be very exciting. I'm looking forward to it, Revolt. Heavy video editing, so I'm going to get the Pro. Yeah, I would get the Pro if you're going to do anything for sustained workloads for more than, I would say, 10 minutes. So James Ferrer ordered the 256 gigabyte with 16 gigabytes of memory should I cancel return for the 512. From what I'm understanding, the base model will have even less speeds as far as the reads and writes of the SSD. This was not stellar on this one, and this one was the 512. So I don't know. Maybe you should. I don't know. You might be fine. You might be fine. But again, maybe go for that higher spec one, or maybe just skip the Air altogether and go with something like the MacBook Pro 14. I don't know. It depends on your budget. The MX Apple chip series doesn't have multi-threading IIRC, unlike AMD and Intel with SMT. Okay. It's getting a little bit technical here, but I take Tech Realm for his word on that. That's for sure. According to Dave Hagen, let's see here. Also, you shouldn't be upgrading too much on the Air M2 because the 14-inch starts to creep in as a better value with a better display, speakers, and sustained performance. Yeah, I didn't test the speakers. I wanted to hear how they sound, so we may be able to see that, or at least I can get a little bit of an idea about it. Yes, if you're going to do any video editing, I would recommend going with the Pro model. And you're starting to add some storage and RAM. I agree with Dave Hagen on this. You're definitely going to want to move up to a different line, and I would do the Pro line on that if you're going to do anything like that. So the X2 battery life compared with the 12, I'm going to have to do my testing. I'm assuming this is going to be better, but again, I don't know until I do my testing. Just took it out of the box. If he can't afford the Air, then he cannot afford the Pro. I don't know what he can afford. I'm just throwing out what your needs are versus what the capabilities are. Again, go with what your budget, of course. Don't extend yourself beyond, don't live beyond your means. So yes, buy what you can afford, and you'll be probably perfectly fine for the most part if you buy the entry level. But again, you may have the issues with the speeds on the SSD. According to Robert, he's telling Dave the 14 Pro is rocking it. Really like this one. Yeah, that would be the one I would go with for a portable powerhouse, basically, if I'm going to get a MacBook Pro. Now, for video editing and stuff, I like having a 16-inch display, so I would get the 16-inch for my personal use when I use Final Cut Pro. But thank you, Robert, for letting us know about that, because you do have the 14-inch, and that's working out really well. Oh, my God. So, Robert, once again, unbelievable.
Coming up.
That's for you, Robert. $100 super chat. Give it up for Robert. Once again, unbelievable. Robert is back again at it. Yes, Revolt. He leaves me speechless every time. Such a great, generous person. Let's go. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Yeah, there you go. Wow. Yeah, that's my sentiments. Robert, there's a mod status. I believe he already has it. Not? I'll give it to him right now. I thought I did. Oh, okay. Robert has now been anointed a moderator. So you are now a moderator. I don't know why you weren't. I thought you were, to be honest. And you don't have to, that's up to you whether you want to do anything with it. But you could throw people out. You could put people in timeout. It's kind of fun. You can shadow ban people. It's great. But yes, Robert is amazing. So you should be a moderator now. Hopefully that came through. But yes, pretty amazing stuff. So let's get back to this. And so far, we have about a minute to go. But I don't know what the numbers are going to be until we get that first score in. That would be the multi-core score. According to Dave, for a student, the MacBook Air M1 at $1,000 should be more than suffice. I agree. And that was the other thing I wanted to bring up, and I'm glad you brought that up. For those that want to save some money, and you're not going to see a huge increase in performance from the M1 to the M2, so you might as well look at the M1. Now, you do get a few extra things here, of course, that you don't get. I lost the thing there. We'll get it back in a moment. That you don't get on the M1. So you're going to get the better camera. You're going to get the new design, of course, this design here. And the reason it's so dark here, it keeps lowering. Is it because I have the, let me go to the, I hate to do it while this is running, but let's go to the system preferences. And let me go to the display. Let me see if I could turn off this. Maybe because I have it connected up. So this is the other display that I have. That's because I'm connected to the HDMI to show you everything. So displays. I'll fix this when we're off, when I disconnect this, but display settings here. Here we go. So the main display is this one. Okay, let's see. So right now it's scaling. Brightness is all the way up. I turned off automatic brightness. True tone is off. I don't know. It keeps dimming on its own. Maybe because it's on battery life. Looks like we're okay in battery. We're at 64%. All right, we'll fix the monitor later, see what's going on. A little bit dim for my liking so far. Although it looks like a nice display, I just wish it was a little bit brighter. Has anybody who has the M2 MacBook Air, has anybody experienced this being a dim display? According to Charles here, the Mr. T is telling Charles, the M2 Air all the way don't need high performance beyond 5 minutes. And that's the key right there. If you don't need any more performance more than 5 minutes or sustained workload, such as video editing and stuff like that, you're going to be perfectly fine. All right, we got our score in for the multi-core, 7326. So we got, I think, close to 9,000 or high 8,900 and something on the Geekbench multi-core, but this is a more sustained workload, and this showed 7326. Now let's run the single core, which I'm expecting to be pretty decent as well. But I think it is showing a little bit of throttling here because that went down a couple of thousand points over this sustained workload brought upon by the Cinebench R23. There's so many questions and comments here, so I'm going to miss some of them, so I apologize. If it's a pressing question, put a Q in front of it so I can recognize it easier. That would help me out. Question, how long does it take for you to render one of your 4K videos? So I'm using here a 2019 MacBook Pro 16. When I use Final Cut Pro, I use a lot of plugins and stuff and a lot of layers on it. So you're really looking at, it could take maybe 40 minutes, 50 minutes on one of my videos. They're 4K, but I have about 18, 20-minute videos. So it could take maybe even an hour sometimes, depending on how many graphics I put into it and so forth. That's with the Intel processor. Now, the M1 I've used in the past, and I have a Mac Mini here with the M1. Problem with that is some compatibility with some of the plugins doesn't work for me. So that's been the issue for me, but that most people won't have that issue. Still not bad for a MacBook Air. That is correct. It is not a bad score. 7326 for the multi-core. Now, to put it into perspective, what did I get? Let me go to my results that I got on the Dell, and just so I can get an idea of the differences. So on the Dell XPS 13, on the Cinebench R23, that I ran, I don't know, what did I have on the video? So on that same test that I ran, where I got 7326 on the MacBook Air, this got the Dell XPS 13 Plus 9320 got 9,028. Now the single core is 1527. So we're still running the single core right now on the MacBook Air M2. Now, for those that are wondering, this is the MacBook Air. And this is the XPS 13 Plus. So, just so you want to get a size comparison, this is the Platinum model, just to give you an idea. And there they are. So, this is an OLED display, 3.5K. And this is I don't know, is this IPS? I don't think this is mini LED, but I could be wrong. I don't know. But this display, let's go to the display settings, system preferences, displays. Let me go to the display settings. Oh, I can go about this Mac. I can do it there. Hold on. Let me go about this Mac. Displays are the built-in display. The Retina display is 2560 by 1664. And the Dell has, let's go to the settings. That one is 3456 by 2160. Now, these are both 60 hertz displays. This doesn't have the high refresh rate of the Pro, by the way, but the XPS 13 doesn't have it either. So for those that are looking to see the difference between the two, because I know there's been a lot of comments about that. Let's see. How is the heat? Let's see here. Very, very cool so far. Actually, it's a little bit warm on the underside. A little bit warm, but a lot cooler than this one. This can ramp up to 100 degrees Celsius. This has been pretty good. This is silent, by the way. There are no fans in this. That's the other thing to keep in mind. Hence, that's why we're getting the lower score, 7326 versus something like 9,000 on the XPS 13 Plus. Robert is a beast. Yeah, he is. For sure. So many questions tonight, and I apologize if I don't get to everybody. Right now, we got 119 of you with us today. And yes, Robert, the XPS is an absolutely gorgeous display. Both of these are good, but for some reason, this seems a little dim to me. And maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe we need to plug it in. I think we're going to plug it in a moment. But let's finish this test, and then I'll plug in the MagSafe. It also can charge via USB-C, but I don't know how fast it charges. The battery life on the XPS Plus is its downside. So Dave, I don't know if you caught my video on it. I got 8 hours and 40 minutes on my continuous web surfing test over Wi-Fi at 100 nits. When I did it at 150 nits, I think I got 7 hours and 14 minutes. So obviously the lower brightness, would that make a difference? It's not more than a 6 to 7 hour device. This one is going to do a lot better because it's a much more efficient chipset, but you will notice throttling on this. This didn't really throttle all that much. However, it does run up to 100 degrees Celsius. So if you need 10 plus hours, I'm sure this is going to hopefully get you there. I got to turn off I got to go back to the screen settings because it keeps wanting to go to sleep because we're on battery mode. So I'm going to have to see if I can get to the settings here, and then I can change that somewhere. I don't know, but I'll just have to keep touching the touchpad. Okay. This is why Apple ditched Intel. When Apple used Intel, their MacBooks were heating. Now with this cheap, I don't understand what you're saying. But way underpowered. I don't know I'm catching it midstream, guys. All right. It also should be noted that the resolution on the Air is lower, and the panel type is also different. To those factors also contribute to the battery life. Yes, this is definitely less lower resolution than this OLED. And OLED, by the way, will use more battery. There's no question. So if you want to get an XPS 13 Plus, get the IPS, either the Full HD Plus or even the UHD Plus. You should be doing a little bit better in battery life. So Robert L. just wanted to say that he likes the all-black keyboard on the MacBook Pro. Easier to see the backlit keys. That is a great point. You can see it here. And by the way, this flickering is only from the camera. In real life, it's static. Okay, yeah, so this is the keyboard on it. So the touchpad on this has been fantastic on the XPS 13 Plus. If you didn't catch that video, people, check it out. But I agree with Robert. I like having the black keys. Now, there is a graphite model of this, which should be a lot better in terms of seeing the contrast between the backlighting of the keys and the keys themselves. So it should be better. So Revolt says the 2.8K 16:10 is the ultimate sweet spot. Yeah, so that is a good one. I like that one. I saw the OLED 2.8K display. We've seen a few of them from Lenovo. Pretty good. Question from Luigi. Sir, did you check the accessibility, then display in the system preferences for the display issue? So, okay, so I got to go to the accessibility. So the system preferences, let me go to the accessibility. So tell me where I can find this. Let me see accessibility. And let's go to the display. So what do I do here? Is there something I can check? Reduce transparency, increase contrast, invert colors, show toolbar, display contrast. I don't want to mess with anything here. and then I can't get back to that. So where did that go off? Hold on. So does anybody know with the display settings? Good to see Mallory here. Is there a backlight on the backlight on the MacBook? You mean on the keyboard? Yes. Let's take a look at this. Let's see. Should be. Where does where does the Mac put the keyboard backlighting key? Does this? Yeah, it should have it, right? Or is this done automatically? I don't know. There's no key on here. I don't know. Somebody tell me. Is there a backlighting on the keyboard on the MacBook Air? I imagine there is. Under Control Center. Okay. So Dave is helping us out here. So System Preferences. So where's the Control Center? Oh, wait. The Control Center is not in this. It's over here somewhere. I don't know, people. You could tell I use Windows. You could tell I use Windows. Oh, yeah. Oh. Okay. I don't know. This is giving me agita. Tech for Your Needs is here. Good to see you. Good to see Mallory. Type in search. I don't know. I'm getting over it. It's in the menu to the top right. Thank you, Josh. For those that didn't see Josh's video, keyboard brightness. Thank you, Josh. So it's all the way. Okay, but for those that are wondering, it's over here in the display settings. So okay, there you go. This is what you get, huh? Thank you, Josh. Good to see Josh here. He did some great jobs on the Dell XPS 13 Plus, which you see here. But I believe, Josh, you have the Full HD Plus and the 4K Plus with both IPS, which I recommend if you want better battery life. I have the OLED here. You can see it here. I sound a little frustrated. No, it's just because I'm not so used to the. I do use a Mac here, by the way. You can see it here, but this is the Intel one, and I've been using it really just for video editing and for live streaming. But I never. And then I have this stupid touch bar here, which I never liked the way they put it in there. I wonder if you could say, "Hey Siri, lower the keyboard brightness." I've never tried that, but I'm not going to start activating everybody's Siri. What's your take on the thermals of the XPS 13 Plus? You mentioned it briefly during your review, but so yeah, Josh, let him know. Mine are both 4K. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Yours are 4K Plus. I stupidly didn't mention that in my. No. I thought you had. For some reason, I thought you had the Full HD Plus and the 4K Plus, but you have the i5 and the i7. And by the way, he did a great video. I saw that today that you dropped. I think it was yesterday or today, where you compare the i5 to the i7 and a shocking result on that. So it was very good. Cheap SSD. I don't know what Revolt is talking about. All right, let's go back to here. Let's see where we are. So far, the multi-core score for those joining us late, 7326. Now, that is less than the Dell XPS 13 Plus, which I have here with the Core i7 1260p. That got over 9,000. I got 9,028 on the same test. I got 1527 on the single core on that XPS 13 Plus. That is the Core i7 1260p, 28-watt CPU with 12 cores. That's 4 performance cores, 8 efficiency cores. We'll see how this MacBook Air M2 will do. We're still doing it. It's still running, as you can see. We have, let's see, we have 113 of you watching. That's good. Okay. Just trying to, I don't want to miss, I know I'm missing a lot of your questions. I apologize in advance. I'm okay, William. Yeah, good to see Just Josh, right, Mallory? It's good to see him here. Tech Realm said hello. Click the right type of the screen. All right, so where are we? We are now at just a little bit over an hour. It's Andrew back again with another live stream here on a Sunday night. Here it's in Las Vegas at 7:32 p.m. And we have the MacBook Air M2, which is the one on the left. And I was just showing and comparing, just for comparison's sake, the XPS 13 Plus from Dell. So... and so far, it's looking pretty decent, although the screen is a little bit dim. I don't know. I have to maybe plug it. I still didn't plug it in. And by the way, that I want to mention that because it's not plugged in, that's pretty impressive. If this was not plugged in when I ran that R23, it would have significantly decreased performance. So that's one advantage I think the Mac has over the 12th gen Intel. I'm getting the Z13 tomorrow. That is correct. The ThinkPad Z13 will be arriving tomorrow. That has the Ryzen 6000 series. So that's coming tomorrow, Reno. So how many likes do we have? We only have 77 likes, but 109 people watching. Hit that like button, people. Let's get this spread out over YouTube. Let's see how many likes we can get. And if you're already not subscribed to the channel, why not do so? That helps me out. Throw me a bone. Come on, people. I had to go out and get this crap. Both of these. Crap, maybe? I don't know. So far, it's looking okay. You see my review of the Dell XPS 13 Plus. I just dropped it yesterday if you want to get my take on it. 3 weeks of using it. I go through the pros and cons, of course. So check it out if you haven't done so. And it's over on my channel. Now, Josh did a great comparison between he has the i5 and the i7, and for those that are looking for that UHD Plus IPS display, he's got a great rundown on that. I have the OLED here, so if you want to see the differences, you can probably go back between the two videos. You can probably get all the information you might need. Question. Good. I like this idea with the question before it. I don't know if you covered this already, but thoughts on 8-core versus 10-core. I understand the 10-core produces more heat under certain cases, but isn't it worth the upgrade? I think more cores if you're going to do any kind of performance, but then you run into the issue of, well, maybe I should just get a Pro because that'll have active cooling. And this only has passive cooling, so there's no fans in this. So it's silent. You're going to get silence. For those people that want silent computing, you're going to have to live with it actually getting a little bit warm. And let me see. It is getting a little bit warm now on the bottom. Nothing overly hot, though. I'll have to take some thermal images of it, and I'll let you know in the video when I release my formal video on it. So thank you, Larry O, for hitting the like button. Yes, people, please hit the like button. Let's get this spread out. We got 124 of you watching. That PWM flickering on the XPS touch bar highlights an issue with PWM flickering on modern laptops, phones, and tablets. Some people really are sensitive to that. So what he's talking about is this. This is not flickering in real life. This is PWM, a pulse width modulation. And some people are sensitive to it. I am not. But under a certain brightness, you will notice it. I don't notice it. I have no problem with it. Now, the one thing I would like Dell to do in a firmware update is give you the ability to turn this off. Say in your dark room, you're watching a movie. I would like to be able to turn that off. So that's just my 2 cents. I talked to Dell, so I don't know if it's worth anything to them, but I'm sure they're aware of it. And I don't know engineering-wise, you know, if they can do it, if that would be great. Maybe through a software update, a firmware update, that would be fantastic. But PWM, you will notice PWM also on the display below us, I think 30%. Again, PWM is used in OLED displays, so that is an OLED display. So if you're sensitive to that and you get headaches from it, or, you know, some people are sensitive to that, I would go with the IPS option, which are great, by the way. Now, he has a friend, Dave has a friend who gets migraines from the PWM flickering. Yeah, some people are sensitive. Again, I'm not. I can't answer that question for the people that are, but I try to test it for you so you will know about it. But this is PWM is what he was talking about. Here, it's not flickering as much on this camera. But on this camera, it is, the top down. So that's pretty interesting. Okay. And then we got our result here. So let's take a look at it. So 1591, okay? So 1591 And what I got on this one, and give me a second. Okay, so here's the numbers that I got on the, you can sort of see it here. So this got 7326 multi-core. So the Dell got 9636. CPU 1591. So throttling was detected on this. On this one, 1604. So this was a little bit better on the single core. So the Dell XPS 13 Plus, when I ran the Cinebench R23, did better than the MacBook Air M2. What that tells me is without active cooling, it's going to throttle down when you do a heavy sustained workload. This test is more than 10 minutes of sustained heavy load, and therefore we're getting those scores. So 1591 single core on the Mac, 1604 on the Dell, 7326 multi-core on the Mac, and 9636 on the Dell. So there you go. For those that are wondering, Intel, people are saying Intel's no good. That's not true. Where you're going to see a real big benefit is the battery life. And I haven't tested this yet, but my inclination is to say this is going to be a much more efficient chip. If the M1 is any indication, this should be better than the last time, I hope. And then this one, of course, will not do quite as well. I talked about it in my video. So actually 10-minute test, that about right for the Dell. Yep. That's about right. So again, that Cinebench R23 is going to take into account any kind of thermal throttling that is going on. Okay. So it's just a matter of what are you looking for in a laptop. For the most part, in most people, this is going to be perfectly fine because this is going to give you decent performance for everyday tasks. It's going to be great for battery life. It's going to stay cool, and you don't have to contend with any fan noise. Now, the one thing you will have to contend with is a notch, but actually you don't see it here. You notice how there's no notch here because that's covered in all black. But if I go to the desktop, oh, you know why there's no notch? Because I'm connected to the HDMI. That's why, because it had to fit to that resolution, I guess. But there's the notch. So you tell me, which is better? Which display do you prefer? This is a higher resolution display on the right. So, but again, there are pros and cons on both. According to Dave Hagen, just looking at the two shots of the laptops, the Mac looks like it could be the older MacBook Pro 13 from that angle. Yeah, they took a lot of the design language, I guess, of the Pro line. So here you can see it, and probably I can just show you here. And there you can see it. Maybe it used to have the wedge design, and now they're going with a more, more industrial look, I guess, something like that. And there are your two Thunderbolt 3 ports. Again, not Thunderbolt 4. And then there's your MagSafe, which is another return to that. And on the bottom, and by the way, it's not very warm. It's pretty cool. So it didn't get very hot. So pretty interesting. And then if we want to see the profile, so this is the Apple, okay? And then this is the Dell. This is the footprint. So 13.4 inch on the top one, 13.6 is for the new size on the, there you can see that for the MacBook Air. So you can see the size differences. So pretty interesting. Okay. We got 131 of you, so it's good to see a nice turnout here. I wasn't expecting a lot of people. Spectre Z13, I don't know what we're talking about, but I do have the Z13 coming tomorrow for those that are wondering, wow, what a lot of work tonight. Anything else I can test? I guess that just showed, we did the sustained workload test, so that's going to show the throttling. We did the Blackmagic disk test to test the speed. Not great. And I have the 512 gigabyte model. So, you know, that's what we see so far. And I unboxed it, obviously, and this is the space gray. And I can tell you, I've been handling it. You don't hardly see any fingerprints. So for those of you that don't want to have a fingerprint-laden device, I would stay away from the Midnight, from what I understand. That one is a fingerprint magnet from all indications. Again, I don't have that one, but there's also the Starlight and I guess a couple other colors. But I stuck with the MacBook Pros from the past with the space gray, and I went with it here on the Air. Okay, so the Air M2. How does it run in real world? It's looking good so far. I mean, you know, you're going to have some throttling if you can do any heavy workloads. With the continuity camera coming to Mac OS, it's piquing my curiosity about the future of the webcam. Why put a mediocre webcam with a notch when you can use your phone's superior cameras instead? So we've seen some beta users of the OS, and they've started to do something to that effect with using their iPhone as a webcam. Yeah, it's always going to be better. I think that's going to definitely be a better way to go. Hopefully, and it looks like they've pulled it off, but we'll see. Again, once they release it, it hopefully will work out pretty well. I hear that the same thing with fingerprints still can't resist the almost black color of the Midnight. So I couldn't, there's a couple of reasons I got this space gray. Number one, I was very worried about the fingerprints. Number two, I didn't want to wait for the Midnight. That was coming later by the time I ordered mine. So I was able to get this pretty quickly. So these are so far looking like it's a pretty good color. And again, I saw a review. I think somebody had the Twilight on it, but I don't know. It's not a bad device. Look, it's not for me because I'm a content creator, and you can see it here. This is the design. It's not for me because I need something with a discrete GPU, or not really with discrete. Well, I need something with a little bit more horsepower when you're doing sustained workloads. So the 16-inch would be the one I would go with, simply because I want to have all the screen real estate that I want. But really, I mean, it's a pretty nice device. Not the lightest. It felt a little bit heavy, actually, surprisingly. But definitely portable. I mean, there's no question. You can throw it in your bag and you'll be ready to go. And you can open it with one finger. So yeah, it's a pretty nice device. And it's got a really nice keyboard. It's got a nice touchpad. It's a haptic engine touchpad. I haven't had any issues so far. The display is the only thing that we're going to have to look into. Because it keeps dimming, and I guess it's in a setting somewhere, and I'll have to, will I return it? No, I bought it. I'm going to use it as a comparison to some other stuff, so I don't think so. Unless there's a problem, I will return it. $1,500 for 8 gigabytes is a tough sell for me. Yeah, this was expensive. I should talk about the pricing. So this cost, I think I spent, I don't even know what I spent. Let me see. So all said and done, let me just go to my account here. I got this one at Best Buy, actually. It was $14.99. Plus tax, it was over $1,500. So that is a little bit of a steep price to pay. But of course, we're talking about the same thing with the Dell. They're pretty expensive as well. So you just have to just decide what is it worth to you. So, okay, so I think I can fix the dim display issue. Go to the settings, battery, tab, and dim on battery. Because I'm on battery, that's what it is. So if I go to dim display. So go to the settings. Okay. So system preferences. Go to battery. So there's the battery. Okay. So low power mode, optimize battery charging, slightly dim the display. Okay. There we go. So I turned that off. Okay. And there's where I also could change. I'm going to say 1 hour because I don't want it to go off. Okay. And that's it. So let me plug this back in for the HDMI. So I'm going to show you this in a moment, but it takes so long for some reason to, so that hopefully helps. So right now it's on the full blast. Let me change the wallpaper, change the desktop. Let me go to a lighter one. Maybe that might make a difference. That's the one I have. That's still dark. Let's try this one maybe. I don't know. I think it's the OLED display that spoiled me on that XPS 13 Plus, because yes, that's 400 nits, but it's just something bright, it's just something sharp with that OLED that just really pops. It's just not popping for me. That's maybe what it is, coming from that OLED maybe. I don't know. But that might be one of the issues. So if you go into the settings, of course, like we just said, go to the system preferences. Let me type in battery. And if we go here to the battery, I turned off the slightly dim over here. And I changed this to turn off the display after an hour because we're live streaming. Show battery bar on the yes, optimize battery charging, yes. Okay, so we keep all those the same. So that's what it is so far, people. I mean, that's where we are right now. So, all right, let's see what else. Apple chooses to maintain amazing life. You mean battery life or life in general? OLED uses more battery. Absolutely. We have 127 of you. Revolt, I don't know where your 90% comes from, but at least 50% of my engineering coworkers are using Windows. Okay. I don't know. Dark mode. Yeah, so I'm on the dark mode. I changed the wallpaper. It looks a little bit better. Looks a little bit better now. And I can switch to this, my NDI camera, and give you a good look, close-up of it. And let's bring that in. If it could ever get there. Of course, when I need it, it's not working. Hold on. Always the case. Try it again. It's my network, I think, is the problem here. Oh, here we go. Well, not yet. So while we're waiting for that, let's get to more of your questions, because it'll work at some point here. I think it's my network is taxed because of the live streaming. Remember, it's using the network for that. Question, what kind of cameras are you using? I see the ATEM. Yeah, so you could probably see it here. This is the ATEM Mini Extreme right here. If I could ever get this camera working, I could show it to you. Okay. But I think my network is taxed right now. So I think that's the problem. Yeah, so it's not working really correctly. So let me take that off. And that's causing, I think that's causing a little delay. So yes, I have the ATEM Mini here. I have my cleaning cloth here. And then, of course, I have the Rodecaster Pro there. So that's where we are. Looks like I have a little delay. Something's causing a delay here. Let me see if I just turn that off. Testing, testing, testing. Yeah, see, there's a little delay right now. So I think we're at the end anyway. Okay, yeah, so let's switch to this camera. There's some kind of delay going on. I think my system is pretty taxed. It looks like it's better now. Okay, I think we're a little bit better, but there is slight delay. All right, I think we're done because of the time. It's already over an hour and 20 minutes. I didn't expect to go this long. I'm going to sign off here, people, but I want to thank the moderators for doing such a good job. And don't forget, I have a lot of stuff coming, so you want to make sure you subscribe to the channel. Until next time, people, tomorrow I will have the ThinkPad Z13 in the studio. Stay tuned. Make sure you are subscribed. Got a lot more stuff to come. Until then, people, take care. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.